This is an Eternus 6 Abrams, and we're going to analyze how they took an early lead and snowballed it into allowing them to dominate this ranked match. We're going to try and go over the highlights of this match and skip some of the filler. Okay, so interesting start by the Abrams. He's actually going to go over to the right, and I'm guessing he's just looking for any early damage he can do on the enemy heroes. This is quite an interesting position. I haven't seen many people use this kind of position for Abrams. He's kind of using this bridge to just confirm souls, and I guess he's not really looking to get into any fights right now. Abrams doesn't really get his full kit. He doesn't really start becoming dangerous until he has at least like 1500 souls anyway. So he is playing pretty far up though. This definitely isn't an easy lane. You've got the Mirage and Vindicta there. Manages to get the stun on the tower. Just gonna get some damage off. And this is quite nice positioning by the Abrams, not allowing the Vindicta to get any pop shots off at him. And it also allows him to hide from the tower as well. He's going to manage to catch the Vindicta out here, manage to shoulder charge and kill them there. So the Mirage has actually gone over to this lane here. Unfortunately, that's because the Grey Talon is... well, currently he's stuck in the teleporter, but before that, he was actually stuck at spawn. And there's not much he can do. The Infernus is here. Pretty good show of team sport here. Kills the Grey Talon just to respawn him. Well, unfortunately for the Vindicta, that means that she's currently in a 2v1, and it leads to a pretty early tower take by them. And this is definitely going to hurt their early game economy. Yeah, I mean, Abrams is already able to start ganking onto other lanes, and normally this wouldn't happen, so it's actually kind of sad to see. And so, yeah, this game definitely isn't something to look at as, like, something you're going to be able to do every game. Obviously, there was a glitch in the game, but I think this game is a pretty good example of how to snowball a lead with Abrams. Obviously, this is definitely not going to happen every game. You're not going to be able to, you know, you're not going to be able to take the tower at 3 minutes every game, but I think this game is a pretty good example of how you can snowball a lead and convert that into victories with Abram. And they managed to get their second tower, second Guardian, only 4 minutes into the game. And now Abram's kit is fully online. He's got his ult, and yeah, he's very dangerous right now. And honestly, if I was him, I'd probably have bought some sort of movement item just so... Sorry, he has actually bought a movement. He's bought kinetic dash, which very smart. It allows him to now just move around the lanes and just gank. And unfortunately, he gets tethered by the Vindicta, but it shouldn't matter. That Kelvin should be able to finish him off. Or, you know, or the Abrams is just going to get a shotgun off. You know, either or. And are they already going to be able to get this Guardian this early into the game? 4 minutes into the game. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. There's just nothing they can do. I mean, yeah, good lord. The Abrams is at double the souls of almost everyone on the other team. The Grey Talon knows that he's not really going to be able to do anything against this Abrams at this point in the game, so he backs off a bit. Vindicta's going to be a little bit aggressive there, though. She does manage to do a bit of damage. Sorry, I'm speeding this up a lot. Sorry, I didn't mean to speed that all up so much, but yeah, they are going to have to back off. I mean, it didn't really result in anything too major anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. Just a little bit of a skirmish there, and yeah, this is a pretty good time to... I mean, with Abrams, it's pretty weird to find your timing for farms, since, especially this early in the game, you do want to... I mean, usually you wouldn't be roaming this early in the game, and it looks like he's going to get the kill on the Lash there. I mean, not the smartest play by the Lash. You know, when you're 2k souls behind an Abrams, you're definitely not going to be able to take him in a 1v1. Probably should have played behind his Guardian, or his Walker even, and it looks like they're going to get this Kelvin, not Kelvin, sorry, Mo and Krill as well. And all three of those players are super low. Unfortunately, he doesn't manage to get the Vindicta yet, but he does manage to do a lot of damage. Somehow, now that was a really unfortunate play right there, actually. He, if we just rewind that. So we see the Abrams is behind that corner. He uses Siphon Life, and then tries to get the Vindicta, gets away on 1 HP. And he decides, okay, I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna use my ult, uses his ult on the Lash. Then he tries to shoulder charge him, but for some reason, and I imagine he was trying to shoulder charge him more towards this direction, but unfortunately, he does kind of go in at like a diagonal angle and he gets stuck on this wall, and it means that the Walker is still targeting him. And at this point, he does want to try and get out of the way, but the Walker unfortunately stuns him, and he does just get picked off. Actually, by an insane snipe by the Vindicta. I actually didn't notice that. That was a really nice snipe by the Vindicta on 1 HP. A little bit of a revenge kill there. But yeah, honestly, a little bit unfortunate for the Abrams. Bit of an overcommit, but you know, it is what it is. When you're this far up, you do have the luxury of trying to play a little bit more aggressive, trying to really snowball the lead. I mean, if they could get that Walker, I think this game would have been even shorter than it already is. And yeah, at this point, the Abrams is just going lane to lane, trying to see what picks he can get. Nothing too crazy item-wise right now. He ignores the tower, the Guardian, and just goes straight onto the Mirage. Something I noticed with young Calc is that he's very good at stunning the Guardian. They managed to get the kill on the Lash. Very nice ult by the Moe and Krill. Not Moe and Krill even, sorry. They're going to engage here. Try and get that Vindictor. Honestly, probably not the best fight right now for him. He's going to get ganked by the Moe and Krill, and he's going to have to back off here. The Viscous doing absolutely nothing to help his teammate. Just watching, trying not to get involved. And he's going to have to hide away from this Vindictor here. Wants to go to the shop quickly. And he, you might have thought you'd buy something like Healing Right, but instead he goes for Sprint Boots, which is an interesting choice. But I suppose he doesn't really feel like he's too bad for health right now. Also, Sprint Boots does give extra regen, so it should be okay. Unfortunate timing by the Abrams to use his ult while the Wraith also uses theirs. You know, probably not the best communication comms-wise. You know, only one of them really needed to use their ults there. And one thing you'll notice here is that a lot of these players are quite grouped up. I mean, they have 4 players here. You know, they have their like roaming players on the sides here that can come in and help if need be. But they've got their main source of players just in the middle. Whereas like the Amber team is kind of spread out across the map. You see they're kind of like spread out. And you can see like, I mean, it's just, you can already kind of see what's going to happen. I mean, the Kelvin's going to come in to support, and these 3 are going to pick off and start a fight. Vindictor's probably going to come in. Mirage is probably going to rotate in. Grey Talon as well. Or either they're going to have a fight here. But either way, it's not going to look good for the Amber team right now. And yeah, you can see the Abrams is really pushing for an engage here. They know that they have the advantage here. And he does get very hurt there. He managed to get cubed by the Vicious. Massive kill on the Haze as well. And oh wow. Really great charge into the Mirage and the Vindictor. Unfortunately, Vindictor does get away and gets another kill on the Abrams, but Abrams did his job there, definitely. Not a terrible result, to be honest. Now they're going to pick up Solan and just really try and extend their lead even further than they already are. But I mean, if we're looking at just soul count, it's not an insane lead. Amber have done a pretty good job of bringing this game back, even though they had a pretty rough start with the glitch for the Grey Talon. Now they see this Mirage and they definitely want to engage. This Walker even is on low already anyway, so they're probably going to manage to just take that Walker out, and they do. But they choose not to engage on the Mirage, which is pretty smart. They know that the entire team is going to start to rotate here. You know, everyone's just come over from their lanes over to here. And they don't want to have to deal with that, to be honest. And it's fair enough, really. So they're going to rotate back. And he's going to get a little bit of farm as he goes. Sorry, again, I have no idea what this visual glitch is. It's so annoying. I don't know why this happens on replays, but it just, for some reason, does. I don't know. Valve needs to sort this out. Like, what the hell is this? Why does Abrams have, like, an entire wire coming out of his body? Anyway. Yeah, pretty smart rotate back to base by the Abrams there, because at the end of the day, when you take a Guardian, what's the first thing that's going to happen? The entire team is going to rotate and try and push the wave back, right? And so he knows that, and he knows it would have been very tempting to go for that Mirage, try and engage, try and get the kill there, but if he tried to do that, it would have just been a 3v1, and he would have just died. But honestly, I feel like most Abram players would have gone for that kill, would have seen that and gotten a little bit kill hungry. Might have even just forgotten about the Guardian altogether, or Walker even. I keep calling it a Guardian. I don't know what's wrong with me. Nice bit of movement tech there, using the Ys very nicely to traverse the map. And he just kind of, he's playing a little bit passively, trying to hide and not really do too much. It was probably a mistake to fire his gun actually at the Grey Talon there. And now you can see they're all grouped up here. There's a massive team fight, and a lot of Sapphire is on this lane here while the team fight's going on here. And these 2 players here are gonna probably intercept this rotate from these guys, and it's going to be a 3v3, and we're going to see what happens here actually. We're just going to let it play out. It actually looks like it's going to be advantageous for the Abrams team. They managed to take out the Kelvin, which is going to really harm their support, and honestly I would give the edge to them right now. Unfortunately, I think just on numbers, they probably could have taken the Abrams, but they decided to head back home. And actually, a lot of them, and sorry, actually, no, a lot of them use the teleporter to go over to the other side of the map to try and start a gank on the other side of the map. I'm going to see how this plays out for them. Abrams is just trying to rotate over to these lanes here and just try and keep up the pressure here. But let's just go over to the Infernus and see what's happening with this team fight. Abrams is now rotated over to try and help with this team fight. It looks like Amber is actually disengaged. They've stepped back, and now Sapphire is taking the opportunity to do Solan. And there's definitely going to be a team fight here over the Solan. Viscous goes down. Abrams uses the jump pad to just engage into the fight. Going to use his ult here. Doesn't manage to hit anyone with it, unfortunately. Going to get Hunter's Aura, which probably actually helped him there with that Mow and Krill just on their own. Because if you didn't know it, it triples the effect when only one hero is nearby. And you can see Sapphire is just much more cohesive, much more grouped up. I mean, Amber is very much like scattered across the map right now. And right now they're if I'm Sapphire, I'm probably thinking I want to get a good team fight, try and get rejuve buff, and then try and do a big push into their base, which is what they look like they're going to do. They're going to engage on this Mow and Krill. They're going to get the Mow and Krill. The Vindicta's in the air. He's not going to be able to do much damage while she's up there. They're going to manage to get those Guardians right there, and they're going to head back. And it looks like they are going to do mid-boss now. The Lash has just spawned back in, but he's not going to be able to make it back in time. And the Abrams doesn't even pop his ult. I think he felt so confident there. He didn't even need to pop his ult. And now they're just kind of waiting for their team to get together, and they're going to try and push these lanes out a bit. And now they're going to really make a big push onto their base. I'm going to put this back to normal speed. They use their ult, and that is an absolutely lovely ult. Gets the kill on the Lash. Manages to help out with that Mow and Krill as well. And they're just going to hide away from this Vindicta and try and get some damage on that tower right there. Or they're just going to get lifted and absolutely destroyed, but it's fine. They managed to survive. They're going to target this Vindicta, which is great. They actually managed to go inside the base and kill the Vindicta, which is just absolutely crazy. And now they just have to finish off this Patreon, and that should be game. The entire team is pretty much dead. None of them are dead. They all have rejuve buff still. And it does seem like it's a done deal now at this point. A little bit insane by the Abrams, just trying to go inside the base, kill as many of them as possible. Very nicely played by the Lash, trying to ult and bring some people inside the base, but it doesn't end up mattering. The team managed to score the victory, and very well played. And yeah, I think the biggest thing we can take away from that game, obviously, it's not the best example of an Abrams game, just because you're not going to have such a great start every match. But I think what you can take away from that is when you do go up with Abrams, it can be really tempting to just take every single fight, really try and like snowball. But I think you really need to pick and choose your fights a bit carefully. I mean, we saw early, he ended up overextending and getting caught out and dying in kind of a silly way, really, where he shouldn't have. And it definitely hurt his snowball a bit. And he really didn't need to take that risk. But I just think this is a really good example of how strong Abrams can be at roaming and just controlling the early to mid game, especially if you give him a chance to snowball.